My name is Stephen Joshua Sondheim.
Now, these things usually start with a typical kid growing up with a typical family in a typical household, but that certainly isn't the story of Stephen Joshua Sondheim, born in New York City in 1930. His mother was a dress designer, his father manufacturing them in New York's garment district. Growing up in the luxurious San Remo on Central Park West, Stephen was surrounded by luxury, creature comforts, plenty to eat, lots of friends, but his life was missing one thing: a family connection. No brothers or sisters, and an overwhelming aloofness from his parents for the first decade of his life. His father left his mother for another woman when Stephen was 10, and his life with his mother took a turn for the worse.
My mother felt so betrayed by my father, and she had nobody else to take it out on because he left her for another woman, and she took it out on me.
For the next hour, we'll try to cram in as much as we can of the music and life of the award-winning perpetual motion entertainment machine known as Lin-Manuel Miranda. His first leading role was in 6th grade in 1991 as heartthrob Conrad Birdie in Bye Bye Birdie. RCA Victor Records knew he had a great ear, so they hired him for their A&R department. That's Artists and Repertoire, where he would scout talent at the clubs as new talent for the record company. It also included recording them at RCA's New York studios. And somewhere deep in the vaults of what is now Sony Music is RCA Victor release number 740308. Written and produced and arranged by a fresh out of college 21-year-old Stephen Schwartz. Here's the Cinnamon Chip with his first professional composition and recording. Butterflies Are Free. For the next 90 minutes, we'll be celebrating Broadway's Rising from the Ashes with a celebration of what just might be the most important Broadway season ever. Along with our friends at the Broadway League and the American Theater Wing, welcome to the iHeartRadio Broadway 2022 Tony Awards Preview. The Tony Award nominees were announced by Adrienne Warren and Joshua Henry, who will guide us through our journey, starting with
Best Performance by an Actress in a Featured Role in a Musical, L. Morgan Lee, A Strange Loop.
Watch your step throughout this show because glass ceilings are breaking everywhere. L. Morgan Lee is the first openly transgender performer to be nominated for a Tony Award for acting. And she knew right from the start that the journey of A Strange Loop was going to be something magnificent.
To have other people understanding that or seeing themselves or being emotionally moved by the piece it's fantastic. It is like icing on the cake of it all. And it means the story gets to go that much farther, which is beautiful because it's these people are taking the story and the conversations they're having about the story into their homes.
Alan Menken. The name just resounds with visions of a gawky kid who grew up in Westchester County, New York. You know, Norm and Judy's kid. Lots of music came out of that home. Yeah, Judy, the young playwright, actress-to-be, and Norm, a dentist who loved playing Broadway and boogie-woogie on that piano. And that Alan kid. How he navigated his life to become a powerhouse in the entertainment industry is no mystery, but the trip is a fun one. So strap in and come along for the ride. It's Broadway's Best, starring the music of Alan Menken. Tommy Valando was a music publisher in the early 1960s and thought that two of his clients, John Kander and Fred Ebb, should meet. Fred Ebb.
Tommy Valando called me. He said, I'd like you to meet this fella called John Kander. I really think you guys could hit it off and would be perfect together. And John came over one day to my house. He said, here, I bought you a present, and gave me a copy of the Herald Tribune, and we started to write.
Well, they opened that copy of the Herald Tribune to the theater section and invented a very clever challenge to test their compatibility. Take a current Broadway play and write a song for it as if it were a musical. They chose the comedy Take Hershey's Mine. The result broke out and became a hit record, earning a 1962 Grammy nomination. Yeah, this is going to be a hell of a team. Here's Sandy Stewart performing that John Kander and Fred Ebb experiment titled My Coloring Book.
For those who fancy coloring books.
Here's a free minute from Pippin, Broadway's musical comedy sensation, directed by Bob Fosse.
Now, what you're listening to here is advertising history. It all started with the tepid reviews and ticket sales Pippin got when it debuted in 1972. So, in a bold move, Pippin's choreographer, the great Bob Fosse, decided to join producer Stuart Ostro in shooting a TV commercial of a performance right on the stage of the Imperial Theater. That was never done before. But after theatergoers saw this ad on TV, they made tracks to the Imperial, following the instructions at the commercial's tagline.
You can see the other 119 minutes of Pippin live at the Imperial Theater without commercial interruption.
Bob Fosse's gamble paid off. Pippin's original Broadway production ran for nearly 2,000 performances and has been in revivals worldwide ever since. The power of great advertising. Happy 50th Broadway birthday, Pippin, from iHeartRadio Broadway.